Hello guys, welcome to the F Number, the podcast about photography and art and life and photography and art. In this podcast guys, we will talk finally about photography. Finally guys, the basics about photography. What really matters in photography. So, well guys, the most important thing in photography is timing and light. Basically guys, the most important thing that we need to know is how to find the perfect balance between the light and the time. That's all in photography. Time and light and time. The light will pass through the lens and through the camera to hit finally in the film or in the sensor. It depends which kind of camera are you using guys. Then the image will be captured into the film or the sensor in your camera, producing the photograph. And all what we have to find the perfect balance between time and light is the shutter speed and the lens. The aperture in the iris of our lens guys. Yes, this is all what we have guys. It's very easy. It may looks like complicated, but it's not. It's nothing like that. It's really easy. You will see. The shutter speed guys will determine the quantity of time. The amount of time, just for say something, that the curtain inside the camera will be opened. And during this time, the light will pass through into the film or the sensor. And the lens, we will determine the amount of light. So, the iris of the lens, if it's closed, obviously, will let pass a less amount of light. If it's wide open, it will let pass, obviously, a bigger quantity of light. If you let pass through the lens and through the curtain inside the camera a lot of light, your picture will be overburned, faded, like white, like not contrasty, basically bad. If you don't let pass through the lens and through the curtain the proper amount of quantity of light during the perfect amount of time, your picture will be too dark. So the image will be not properly burned into the film or the sensor, right? That's why time and light, it's everything in photography. It's all what photography it is in the basics, right? So that's why it's really important for you to understand first this concept, timing and light. But okay guys, let's go step by step. As I always say, step by step is the best way. But you can graduate the amount of light in your lens. You have the iris of the lens and the F numbers. I know this is the name of the podcast as well, the F number. Okay, let's continue. The F number determines the aperture in the lens, the aperture in the iris inside the lens. A bigger number guys, like for example F20, express that the iris in your lens is smaller, the aperture in the iris is small. And a lower number, like for example F1.8, is expressing that the aperture in the iris in the lens is wider. So that means that your lens is catching naturally more light. Yes, and that's good. But at the same time, you need to be careful because too much light can overburn your picture, and that's why as well you have the shutter speed. The shutter speed will determine the quantity of time that the curtain inside the camera will remain open to letting pass through it the light that will hit into the film or the sensor in your camera, guys. If you are into film photography, guys, this is pure magic. You will see. When the light passes through the iris and through the curtain and hit the film, what happens is real magic. What happens is like the chemicals in the negative will react, and in a fraction of a second they will be burned, catching the picture for all the eternity, guys. This is really poetry. It's pure magic. It's awesome. Yeah. No, I know, guys. That's why I love film photography. It's what I really love. It's what I do all the time. Film photography. All it's about that. It's pure magic. It's pure art. It's pure photography. But now let's continue, guys. Let's continue. That's exactly why the most important thing in the camera is the lens. The lens is everything. I've heard so many questions. I've heard so many times this question. Which is the best camera? Well, guys, let's say this from an honest point of view. And now that you know that the most important thing in the camera is the lens, any camera is a good camera, but not any lens is a good lens. You really need to have a very good lens, guys. When you are in photography in a more conscious way, what you need to be worried about is not to get an expensive camera. Expensive camera means nothing. You can have a £20 camera, $20 camera, or 25 or 200 or 1000 or 5000 or a Hasselblad, beautiful Hasselblad for $25,000, but that means nothing, guys. It's the lens. The lens is what really matters. So what you need to have in mind when you are buying a new lens is the F number in the lens. So that is always in the front of the lenses, like the name of the brand and some numbers and whatever, but the F number is always there. It must be there. It should be there. And if you find a lens with F number starting at 3.5, it's a cheap lens. If you find a lens with an F number starting at 1, that's a very good lens, and this lens will be more expensive. And from there, guys, there is many other things that will determine the price in the lens. The brand, the quantity of elements. The elements are like the glasses. The glasses that form the whole lens. A lens is constructed by many sub-glasses. So from there, guys, there is lots of things to know about lenses. But let's keep it simple. Take a look always in the F numbers. The F numbers will help you to know if the lens is a good lens or not a good lens. At this point of the podcast, guys, I will not recommend any lens or any brand in particular, because at this point I think the most important is just to establish and talk about the basics about photography and what we really know to can bring form inside of us a better photographer, an artist, a photographer as an artist, not a photographer as just a commercial affair or as a fashion photographer or as a photojournalistic photographer. No, but a photographer, an artist. A photographer and an artist at the same time. I think this is the most important, guys. When I started in photography, I had like the choices in between just take photography as photography and that's all, or take it serious and take photography as an art. And I think the most important, guys, and I would really like to transmit to you guys, is photography is pure art. Photography is an art, and photography need to be made with this very simple thing in mind. I'm doing art. We may say so many things about art. What is art? Why art? But not at this point, guys. Let's take it easy. You will see. You will find all these answers on your own, by your own, on your own way, on your own time. And I think this is the best. Okay, guys. Let's continue with the podcast because it's almost finishing and we still need to say something else about the F numbers and why they are so important. Let's put a practical example, guys, to make it easier. If you are in a low light condition situation, like into a room during the night, or in the street during the night, or in a dark place, you will need a lens which can handle lower F numbers, like for example 1.1 or 1.8, which is fair enough, it's really good. 1.8 it's a lot. It's brilliant, a very good lens. Let's see, guys, if you are in this room with very low light condition and you want to take a picture with your lens at maximum aperture is 3.5, you will need set up the shutter speed at half of a second. The half of a second, it's a lot in photography, guys. It's a lot of time. It's a lot. It's dramatically a lot. For sure the picture will be shaken, blurred, disaster. Bad. Anyway, bad. The other thing that may you use is like a tripod, but let's be honest, a tripod, no, it is not working. It is not into the equation. It's a disaster as well. Just imagine, you need to set up the tripod, put the camera on the tripod, handle the camera attached to the tripod in the best case, if you already had the camera attached to the tripod, very uncomfortable, and catch the picture. The picture will be gone for sure. No picture, not nothing. It's just gone. It's disaster. But if your lens can handle lower f numbers like 1.8 or f2, you easily can set the shutter speed at 15 of a second, even 30 of a second. Hold your camera in your hand firmly, keep steady and take the picture and catch a nice picture. That's why the F numbers are so important, guys. Okay, guys, thank you so much. This podcast has come to its end, and I just would like to say thank you for being in Patreon, guys, because on this way I can bring my dream to the reality. That's a lot. That's really a lot. Thank you, guys.